Yeah.
And then
I think Parker and Shane Stewart kind of got together a little bit, and then that's kind of what I got Parker slowed up.
And Parker, he slowed up in 3, coming out of 3, and somehow he collected G, right?
Yeah, G like ran over someone's back wheel. As everyone was trying to avoid Parker.
And then Parker was obviously upset and took it out on Skyler.
Yeah.
And I can only assume that he just didn't realize what had happened. It was just a case of mistaken identity. It was a true dirt track moment.
It was kind of entertaining. Just they were talking about the wreck. You hear Johnny Gibson over the loudspeaker, and then he's like, "Oh, and then there's a fight down in turn 3." And it's like you look over on the big screen, and you see PPM and G kind of shoving each other, and it looked like G actually got a pretty good shot in at Parker. Kind of unfortunate they both had their helmets on, but they got it broken up pretty quick. But that's what $175,000 and over 100-degree heat indexes does to people, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when there's...
And G is Canadian, so he's probably played hockey at some point in his life, so...
was he reaching for the back of the jersey? Is that what he's doing?
It was just kind of definitely one of those head-scratching moments. Just trying to understand what was going on. Really, no one knows the answer as to what Parker was thinking, other than Parker.
I'm sure you saw the video, and they've probably talked since, and we'll move on. All right, so then that brings us to the feature. I'm sure we've all got plenty to say about that. With Sammy starting on the front row, Sammy starting on pole, Donnie Schatz starting outside the front row. And Sammy jumps out, takes the lead.
The crowd was pretty excited. Like I said earlier, the crowd was excited with Sammy even starting on pole, and then he showed the emotion. And then during driver intros, he went and sat on the chair.
Oh, yeah.
Which I almost texted you guys and said, watch Sammy sit on the chair. And sure enough, I didn't, just because I'm like, oh, there's probably no way he does that. And then sure enough, he does. And gets a really good reaction out of the crowd. And just kind of, I think it's just a case of Sammy being Sammy. And but that definitely got a really good rise out of the crowd. So yeah, Sammy jumped out to the lead, and he held on Donnie for a few laps until I think it was lap 11. But they had a caution in there. I forget when that first caution flew, but
3 laps into it.
Yeah, so it was like 3 laps in, and my buddy pointed out to me, he's like, Schuhart's up to 6th.
Yep.
Yeah, he 12 to 6 in the first 3 laps.
That's kind of when I knew that Schuhart was definitely going to make some noise in this one. And then, sure enough, go ahead, Derrick.
Yeah, actually, Sweet and Schuhart had a pretty good little battle going on at one point at that point it was for 3rd place. And then, of course, that move that Schuhart put on when he went from 3rd to 1st on Schatz and Sammy was just pretty incredible.
Yeah, that was a huge move on lap 11, I believe it was.
Yeah, I mean, that's the move that brought the entire crowd to their feet. I don't know if you could hear it on the Dirt Vision broadcast or not, but everyone was cheering. I think half the fact because Logan Schuhart took the lead on a great move, and half the fact because he passed Donnie too. It's like every time Donnie got passed, the crowd would cheer. You'd hear some random cheer, and it's like, oh, Donnie got passed. So, yeah, Schuhart took the lead there on lap 11, and he ran away for a while. Even through lap traffic, he was getting through lap traffic pretty good, and, keeping a good distance between him and Donnie. For a while, I really, really thought that Logan was legitimately going to pull this one off, and then I got ready to look at my buddy and tell him that I'm surprised that a tire hadn't popped yet when you hear a tire pop. and I look over in turn one, and there's Reitzel with missing a right rear tire, and you see chunks of tire falling down. Yeah, that brought out the open red, and teams were able to make adjustments. You heard things like Tim Schaefer was like changing shocks, but mainly it was just fueling up the car and making some air pressure adjustments. But yeah, that set up like a 15-lap shootout. It was going to be a case. I thought it was going to be a case of, all right, what's Donnie going to do? Like at this point, I thought Donnie was going to get his car tuned perfectly for those last 15 laps and definitely make some noise. But that's when it was also pointed out, or when I realized that Brent Marks was on charge too, as well as Sheldon, which are two guys that I really didn't even think about coming into feature time.
Yeah, I was very excited to see Sheldon making the run that he did there, because he came on there with about 12 to go.
I mean, Sheldon was moving. For a while, he was definitely one of the fastest cars on the track. He was running that hard line up top, just making it work and making moves. And they had that car dialed in for what may have been Sheldon's best run of the year. You know, it could have been it can be a turning point for their season maybe if all goes well. Brent Marks too. Like, I think at the end of the race, Brent Marks was the fastest car on track.
Yeah,
he started 16th, and for a while he was battling Schuhart there after the restart. But so I guess we should probably talk about what happened on the restart.
Yeah, Derrick, I was going to ask you what were you thinking with Sweet on Schuhart's bumper there on that restart?
So obviously that lap 25 restart's big, but Sweet's restarts and starts all night were on point. If you remember in the heat race, he actually went to the front right away. They called that back. If you listen to the interview afterwards, he was not happy about the call. And then he does it again. And then in the in the feature, he had a good start past two cars, I think, right off the bat, the first lap. Lap 3, he actually went third to first on the restart, but they have the pit in yellow, so it got erased. And then, of course, the restart on 25, where he got Schuhart. So the other ones aren't as big because they're earlier in the night, but really put him in position to where he was even in contention in the first place. Lap 25, they get the restart, and he gets a great jump and really just kind of checked out at that point.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any chance Schuhart was going to catch him. It was pretty clear that Brad had the jump there on the restart, and then once Brad was out, in general, once Brad's out front, especially late in the race, that's game over unless something goes wrong for him.
You can kind of tell in that the heat race interview that Brad, me and my dad, we call it kill mode. That racers just kind of get in, and I could definitely tell Brad was in kill mode. That nothing was really going to stop him tonight. He could do anything about it, but as much as everyone wanted to see Logan Schuhart win, this wasn't meant to be. You know, Brad got that great restart, and like Derrick said, just see ya. There was absolutely no catching him, and Logan and Brent Marks actually ended up battling for a few laps for second position, which really helped out Brad too, as Brad was getting through lap traffic. But in the end, it was Brad Sweet taking home that $175,000, followed by Schuhart and Brent Marks.
And Sheldon in fourth.
Yeah, Sheldon in fourth, and then David Gravel ended up in fifth.
So I was very excited to see Brad Sweet act like a 17-year-old on stage. I thought that was incredible. I think I probably would be too, with $175,000, and knowing that going into Knoxville, I've got a pretty good shot of doubling that coming up here in the near future.
I mean, even on Tuesday, the Outlaws go to Lernerville over there in western Pennsylvania, and it's not a $175,000 to win show, but it's still a $25,000 to win show. So if Brad Sweet wins that show as well, that's $200,000 in two races, like unheard of. He could go in and enter that two sets race if he wanted to.
Right. There's your entry fee to own your own track.
Yeah. Only took two races for Brad Sweet.
So yeah, there's I put this up on Twitter, but the top 5 cars passed 39 people to get to where they were at. That's just amazing. Wow. And Marks Marks from 16th to 3rd. You had, obviously, Schuhart 12th to 2nd. But you had 39 cars total from where they started to where they finished in those top 5.
That's kind of what I like about the Kings Royal. It gives some guys that you normally wouldn't know about a chance to maybe start up front and get a decent payday. You look at Lee Jacobs in 2017 and 2018 getting a couple top 5 runs. You look at even guys like Kill Thomas, who Thomas I think finished 2nd in a heat race. Where did he end up? He started. Yeah, so he started 7th in the feature. So, but he ended up finishing 18th. But still, to have a guy like Kill Thomas finish or starting in the top 10 of the Kings Royal, just kind of one of those things you wouldn't really expect.
It was definitely another Kings Royal not to be missed. Extremely exciting race. A lot of good storylines there with Sammy starting on the pole, Brad Sweet coming to victory, taking the lead with 15 to go, Logan Schuhart's charge. I was also excited to see the Hodenschild starting side by side, father and son starting side by side. That was pretty cool.
And then they both finished top 10 with because Jack ended up 8th.
Something I noticed about the top 12 is if you look at the top 12 finishers, you're looking at the past, present, and future of sprint car racing. Like, just to give you kind of a rundown, you look at Sweet and Schuhart, first and second place, they're kind of the now. And then you have Brent Marks and Sheldon, who you can kind of look at as maybe the future of sprint car racing. David Gravel and Donnie are kind of in the now. And then you look at Sammy Swindell, Jack Hodenschild, Tim Schaefer, in 6th or 7th, 8th, and 9th. You have Kerry Madsen, who's just fast wherever he goes. Joey Saldana, who is another one of those that kind of represents the past. He's still obviously really fast. I'm not saying they're like washed up or anything. And then looking in 12th place, you have Gio Selby, who was like the rookie of the race and obviously has a bright future ahead of him. But you look at that top 12 and you honestly are looking at the past, present, and future of sprint car racing.
Yeah, quite the mix there in those top 12. I didn't realize that. I think they said this was Joey Saldana's 23rd Kings Royal.
There were a lot of guys like that. You look at Sammy, it was like his 26th. Joey, like you said, like 23rd. Jack, it was like his 24th. Joey, it was his 25th. Joey had a streak of like 24 straight Kings Royals that he made. That streak was broken last year, and then he got back on last night. And then, but yeah, you look at like Donnie and Sammy and Jack, and they all have like 24 to 26 Kings Royal starts between them, and who knows how many that they've won. I don't know how many Tim Schaefer has started, but you would think that he would have a decent amount of starts in those. So you got so many Kings Royal starts, but just between like 4 or 5 guys, like you could have over 100 Kings Royal starts, and then you have Schuhart, Marks, Sheldon, and Gio, who are just starting to make a splash at the Kings Royal.
I must say, aside from the format changes, which I thought were very cool, I didn't know what to expect, but I thought those were positive changes. The overall production of the event, and like I said, the revenge draw they did on stage, the interviews they did with drivers on the track, which I know they've done some of that, but they seem to do a lot more of it. The coverage that you get on Dirt Vision with the drone videos, and this production was incredible, and I don't know how much bigger the Kings Royal can get, but I'm looking forward to 2020 and seeing what it turns out to be.
The Kings Royal is so much more than a race anymore. It's a 3-4 day event now. Everything that they do just keeps adding to it.
You can have all the best stories, and obviously there's drivers that we all want to see win or do well, and there's drivers we might not want to win or do well, but at the end of the day, you want to have a good race, and we not only had a good race last night, we had a great race.
Right. It was definitely a great race, and it's definitely an event that I'm proud to have in Ohio. One could argue that it's greater than the Knoxville Nationals or second to the Knoxville Nationals, and I'll make that determination when I get the chance to go to the Knoxville Nationals, and that'll just be my opinion. But it's good for dirt track racing, and it's specifically great for dirt track racing in Ohio, and we're glad to have it here, and we're glad for what Tony puts into it, the way Eldora handles the event. So it was a great show. What else do you guys have before we part ways here?
The 50-50. I thought last year the 50-50 being up over $50,000 was insane. But this year they topped $60,000.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling, and it's unfortunate.